Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in KITZUR HILCHOS SHABBOS, and we're talking about HILCHOS Neiros, lighting the candles on Friday night. Mokim Anachosam, the place where you should place the candles. Kvar Kesavnu she'echad min hatamim lama madlikin neiros l'Shabbos. We already explained that one of the reasons that we light candles on Shabbos or before Shabbos, hu mishum einik Shabbos, it's for the einik, for the pleasure of Shabbos. Like we said, you enjoy the food much better when you can see what you are eating. If you're in the dark and you can't really see the food, you don't enjoy it as much. So one of the reasons that we light candles Friday night is in order that we should be able to see our meal. And that's going to increase our pleasure on Shabbos. Therefore, it makes sense that a person should light the candles in the place where they eat. You want it to be by the table. There are many people who go out of their way to make sure that the candles are actually on the table itself. It's the closest to the food, and you'll be able to see even better. With this, because when you leave them on the table, there's even more honor to the Shabbos because you can see the meal better. But if you're in a place where there are children, make sure that you leave the candles in a place where the hands of the children are not going to be able to touch them and play with them. In that case, because you don't want to, God forbid, come to burning down your house and causing a fire over here. So if that would be the case, then how could you leave the candles on the table? If you have little kids sitting around the table, kids love to play with anything. Fire is even more luring, and it could be very dangerous. And it's possible that because of this, the danger of having candles on the table when there are little kids around, the custom has come in many homes. People do not leave the candles on the table. Rather, people place the candles somewhere where they can leave them the entirety of Shabbos and not have to worry about them. And therefore, many people have either in their dining room, they have a piece of furniture that's near the table where they can put the candles. They have a shelf that they built onto the wall where they leave the candles. Something that is in the area of the table so that they can be seen, and it enhances the meal, enhances the seudah. And he's writing over here, you have to make sure that you leave them somewhere where you can keep them there the entirety of Shabbos, because once that the candles are lit, they become muktzah, which means something we'll learn about later, that you're no longer allowed to move it and deal with it on Shabbos. And if you put it in a place where you need to move it, you're going to run into big halachic shilas. How can you move candlesticks that are muktzah on Shabbos? Common neiros, how many candles should a person light? Mikra adin yoitzim mitzvahs halakha gam im ner echad. Really, according to the letter of the law, one candle is enough. With that, you fulfill the mitzvah that the Chachamim are telling us to keep, of lighting the candle for the Kavod Shabbos. But everybody's minhag is to light at least 2 candles. It says, remember the Shabbos, v'shamar, and guard the Shabbos. Therefore, 1 candle is for Zachar, and 1 is for Shamar. There's another reason why we light 2 candles. Shener shavar reish nun, because ner, which means candle, is the gematria of reish nun, which is 250. Ubeis pa'amim ner shavar taf kuf. And if you take ner, the gematria, the numerical value, twice, you get 500. Vein keneged evar shel ish v'isha, and that is in consonance with the limbs of a husband and a wife, a man and a woman. She'evar shel ish hem ramach. The limbs of a man are 248. V'shal reish nun beis. A woman is 252. So you add them together. Sha'olim yachad lemisbar tavkov hanal. If you add them together, you have the 500 altogether, and therefore when you light the candles, that's one of the ideas of the Shalom Bayis, of the peace and harmony that you bring to the house. It's the limbs of the husband and the wife all working together. And he just concludes and he says, Yesh shemoisif and ner bishvil kol yeled hanoilad. There are those who end up adding a candle for every child that is born. You can add as many candles as you want. So many people have the 2 candles they start off with, and then for every child that is born to their family, they add another candle. So you walk into some homes, there's 5 candles. You walk into other homes, there's 10 candles. You walk into some, there's 12, 15 candles, depending on the amount of children that are in that family. But you have to be very careful. Every time that you add another candle, when you light it for the first time, you should say, I'm doing this bli neder without making a vow. Why? So you shouldn't be obligated to light those amounts of candles every single time. As long as it's a bli neder, which means I'm not making a vow when I light this candle, so that would mean that if one Shabbos you wouldn't be able to light all 10 candles that you have, and you can only do the 2 of Shalom V'Zachar, you're going to be in good shape. Have a wonderful day.